Hello friends, welcome to Fibertown. This is episode 109. It's the 5th of May, 2015. Welcome everybody. Glad you're here. It's, Tuesday. It is after Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I'm still feeling the effects of a most fabulous weekend. You're getting sort of the natural look today. I did throw on some lipstick because, yeah, it was quite a weekend. I'm still recovering, but it was so much fun, and I got to meet so many of you. That was lovely, and I'm going to show you all what I got and tell you all about it. So let's do that, shall we? Alice is not around. I left her outside. I can hear her. I don't know if you can hear the birds singing, but she's sunning herself. She's a little under the weather with doggy stomach issues. I'm not going to say anything else, but she's not in the house right now. I will deal with that later. Okay, so welcome to MathMot, who's Lisa from Maryland. Thanks for introducing yourself. She found out about Fibertown on the 90% knitting board, I believe. I did participate in some scrappy kind of knit along there and posted some pictures. So let's see, who else do we have? Miss Paula Knits from Pennsylvania, and she's getting into spinning. And she was going to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool. I don't think I met you, but I may have. I hesitate to say I met so many people. And then there were some people I really wanted to see, and I don't know, for whatever reason, we just didn't connect. Even though, strangely, we were at the podcaster meetup, both of us, talking to Lisa, Fiber Nymph. I don't know what happened. I was there. But there's always next year, and possibly Rhinebeck. I don't know. We'll see. Extra Leg. Awesome. Interesting Ravatar. Who's Lindsay from Canada. And hello, Lindsay. Thank you so much for saying hi. She said some lovely things, and she's binge watching Fibertown. So, enjoy. Okay, let's see. We have the Autism Awareness Knit Along going on, and the first month's winner was number 85, who is L.M.E.L. McCall. Look what you won! You won Desert Vista Dye Works in this awesome poodle skirt colorway, self-striping. So send me your address, and I will mail it to you. So the prize for May is going to be pattern related. The person who wins in May gets 2 patterns. You get your choice of one of my patterns, and you can gift them to people if you'd rather do that. And then you get a pattern for yourself of $7. So that's the prize for May, and June's prize will be another physical prize to be mailed. And I will show you that in June. And in the meantime, enter your beautiful whips. It doesn't have to be autism awareness, or autism awareness related, which means that it is very colorful, at least 75% non-neutral, bright colors. If you do have a bright colored FO, you enter it twice. If you have any other FO, enter it once. And we're going to keep the FO thread going. I'm sorry, just looking at this. Are my shoulders? This is my sewing, so I don't look at it typically in the mirror. I'm very distracted by looking at myself. Okay, sorry. What was I saying? Yes, enter your FOs. It's going to be open. That thread will be open for 3 months. Please chat. Chats are eligible to win. And the other knit along that's going, and the autism awareness is with Pen Hook and Needles ladies, who I got to meet. Hi, guys. And Nicolo's World and Undead Yarn, who's Heidi. That's the Undead Yarn podcast. Man, maybe I should start over today. I am not doing so well podcasting. It's been a while. I had to skip last week. And I'm having trouble staying on track. Actually Knitting, the Actually Knitting podcast, is having her pal Cal, and I am honored to be included this year. So if you go and check out her podcast, you will find a coupon code for my patterns. And thank you to everyone who bought during the half-off sale. That was awesome. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoy the knitting. let me know if you need any pattern support. So anyway, the Pal Cal, which is a podcaster along, is being explained in the Actually Knitting podcast, and that's an audio podcast, I believe. I actually haven't ever listened to it. I subscribed, so this week as I get caught up with all my stuff, I'll be listening to that. Okay. Oh no. I just realized I forgot to bring my 1FO. Darn it. I've already worn them. I wore them for like 3 days when it was cold. They're my soft kitty, no pearl monkey socks. But I kind of feel like I showed them to you already. They're finished. They're wonderful. They're my usual riverbed gusset with the no pearl monkey cookie A pattern down the front. So, works in progress. So, for you today, I have works in progress, spinning and weaving, acquisitions, and possibly an Ask Fibertown, but we'll see. I might be talking for forever with all the acquisitions and Marilyn Sheep and Wool talk. Okay, so let's see. Works in progress. Oh my gosh. All right, let's do this first. I have hit the 200 square milestone marker, you guys. And I've put quite a few squares on it. When I got home from Maryland, I had my square knitting mojo at full blast. Let's see, I have a square on the edge. I have this one. And I got in fresh infusion of squares, not squares, scraps. This one, there's that lollipop stitch marker. It's from Sucre Miniatures on Etsy. And my friend Sarah gave this to me. Hi, Sarah. And let's see. These are markers from Knit Tricks. This is a lovely one. Oh, I showed you that one last week, that big one. Here's another one. This is one from Sweden, from Frida, I believe. This is from Whimsical Meerkat. It's amazing that I can even remember sometimes who gave me which scraps. And then this one, which has some jingle bells on it. So, yes indeed, I laid this out on my kitchen table and tried to take a picture of it. And I think in the future I'm going to have to put it on a bed. So, it's lovely as always. I think I found a good spot for another larger square. Where was it? I think quite possibly it's going to be over here once I get another square in this location. I do like those. I like to use self-striping for the bigger squares. You get to see the repeats. And yes, I chattered at Marilyn Sheep and Wool with a group of ladies who is knitting. They're all knitting one of these, and it's so fun. And yes, there it is. I need to do some clipping of ends. They're all woven in. I weave them as I go. It's so easy. It's so fun. So if you haven't gone down the rabbit hole yet, if you haven't gone over to the dark side of mitered square, sock yarn, blankets, you might want to consider it. Okay, my junk yarn socks. I don't think junk yarn watches my podcast, but I'm calling them junk yarn socks anyway, because these are the little tiny nuggets of yarn that are left over after I knit a mitered square. They're not enough for another one. I don't want to do too many repeats of colors in my big blanket, so I throw them together into a sock. And this is my usual recipe of 64 stitches. I'm doing this on US 1.5's Addie's Sock Rockets, which I kind of really love. Magic looping. And I'm finally doing the double gusset, the basic sock with the double gusset, which is a free pattern by Christy Payne, Turtle Girl 76. So I've got the first, it's like a riverbed gusset, but it hugs even more, I think. And this is just fits my foot anatomy, or this type of gusset fits my foot anatomy really well. And feet are so different. Like the fish lips kiss heel, it doesn't fit me. my sock just slides, my sock slides off and it bugs me, but I love these. So I have moved my markers. I'm getting ready to do the second gusset. You may recognize your scraps that you sent me in here somewhere. This is very fun. So these are my May socks. They're in my Holland Handmaids bag, which is lovely for magic loop socks. Okay, what else do we have? We have the Hitofude by Hiroko Fukatsu. I think I got that right. I have been remiss in saying her name. I've just been saying it's by that designer. Look up the Hitofude. And I've got my mojo back. I'm knitting this on my Chowgu Interchangeables US 5, which is 3.75 millimeters. Look at that. So that's, let me show you actually the right side. Stretch it out a bit so you can see the lace repeats. So this is Argo. I'm gonna have alpaca in my mouth. So this is it. This is, it takes a good while, but this is the back, top, and both sleeves. So once you're done with this strip that takes forever, you're really almost halfway done. You're better than a third of the way done. And I now have the lace memorized, so it goes much faster. You know, not having to stop and look at a chart. That was really slowing me down and messing with my mojo. And I have my Knit Cubby Fiber Town podcast stitch marker on there. Oh, look at my terrible cuticles. Let me hide that. Is that going to focus? I gave away all of these at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I have so many scraps now that I got in return. Oh, this is Copper Corgi yarn, and that's a really good color representation. It's amazing. It's her Jones Street Sport Base. And let's see. It's a sport. I said that. It's a proprietary blend of black alpaca, I think 30%, 10% silk, and 60% superwash merino. And Sarah, who's the owner of Copper Corgi, please go and look at what she has. She has beautiful yarns. Is sponsoring the Jones Street Knit Along on the Carolina Fiber Girls podcast, which you absolutely should listen to. I'm Sean Connery apparently today. Okay, is that everything? Oh no, that's not everything. I'm sitting here smelling sheep. There's a fleece over there, folks. There's a brand new fleece. You can see this is a finished fleece right here. Okay, so for some reason, I think, or I have thought, that every time I go to an event, a fiber event, I should cast on a barn-raising quilt square, because it will be a fond memory of the event, knit into the blanket. I am beginning to come out from under that delusion. The last one I attempted at History Unwound ended up a pentagon instead of a square. It's not the barn-raising pentagon blanket. No, it's the barn-raising square blanket. So I start on double points and then I change to magic loop because I feel like I can monitor better what's happening. And you'd think that I could cast on the appropriate number of stitches for each side of the square onto one needle and then knit with a fifth needle. But once in a while, when you're doing the cast on, you have to put a yarn over at the beginning of a new needle. And, you know, maybe I need to figure this out better, but I think the more logical choice is to not knit these at events because I've done it again. And I overachieved with the pentagon and I have underachieved with a circle. Because instead of 4 eyelet rows, or columns rather, I have 3. It's a radiation symbol out of lovely Miss Bab's Yummy Toes in the Joan of Arc colorway. I'm unamused, folks. This is not funny anymore. I see. Oh, yeah. I was thinking I could drop down and fix it. But no, it's got to be started over. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to talk about it. Just want to knit my mitered squares for a while. I'm wearing the washi top, washi tunic, which is making me play. It's way too much on camera, which is making me critique my sewing and thinking, are my shoulders slanted? I feel like one shoulder is higher than the other, but it could be the sewing. Anyway, I don't have this problem when I wear store-bought clothes on the air. Okay, so spinning. I finished my Into the World bat in the Rhinebeck colorway. I'm going to open this up so you can see. This is, I didn't write down the yardage. Seriously? I need a better system, folks. I think it was about, shoot. I could have sworn I wrote it on the ball band here. I know I texted the information to a friend. I'll have to look it up there. All right, I think it was 450-ish yards of a chain ply, which some folks call Navajo ply. And yeah, it was a substantial, oh, maybe it was more like 500. I wish I knew to tell you. But it is a mix of a royal blue. Actually, no, it's not a royal blue. It looks royal, but that's just because it's by the purple. So it starts out with this green. And then it moves to this gold. And then it moves to this strange color, orangey coral. And then it moves to a Marsala, like the color of the year. And then into this purple. And then into this dust. It's a very dusty, muted blue. It doesn't show up that way on the camera, but it is in real life. This is going to make a great piece of neckwear of some sort. A shawl, a cowl. It's too much yardage for a baby sweater, isn't it? But that would be fun. Okay, so there it is. I got good yardage on it. It's spun up very thin. It's a Polworth silk carded bat from Into the World, and it was the Rhinebeck colorway. Alrighty. The weaving is pretty much, it's a little bit more advanced. Let me show you. But as I look at, the warp is all the way down there, so we're getting there. But I have also discovered some significant errors that are too far back for me to care about. And just knowing this is not going to be a project that is going to, be really functional. It is a learning project. I don't feel like it's worth it for me to pull out all of this weft. I just don't feel like it's a good enough excuse to pull back that far, because what I want to do is finish it and figure out how to finish it. And then maybe Alice wants it for her crate. I think that would be good. So hopefully at that point I will have gotten the hang of things and I will weave a beautiful wool one. I was sent, you guys are amazing. Betty for Fiber has the instructions for one of these looms. I didn't get the instructions with this. And she sent them to me, and it's a huge help. So thank you so much, Betty. I'm thrilled to have a copy of those. And I'm going to have to break down and buy a book, I think. So that's what's going on in the weaving and spinning side of things. Oh, except for this. And this. This is a Ross. Oh, it smells good. This is a Ross Farm bag, and this is a Trader Joe's bag, filled to popping with my Cotswold Coopworth lamb fleece. Bundles of combed top. Meticulously combed by moi and ready to spin. And I think it's going to be a 2-ply lace weight. Or fingering, maybe. 2-ply lace weight to fingering for an epic lace weight shawl. Maybe not. Gonna do some more sampling. And we'll see. But it really is an ideal kind of thing for a lace weight. And it's not bright white, which I like. It's natural white. So, where should I put these? Oh my goodness. All right, I'm down here. Let the spinning begin. I wish I had a bobbin winder, folks. All right, next year maybe. So, shall we talk about Maryland sheep and wool? Shall we? Okay. So, the plans for Maryland sheep and wool changed drastically over last week. Last week was crazy. Kids were sick. Plans were up in the air. Babysitters got sick. Kids got better. The babysitters got sick. Pretty significantly sick. So, my husband was so looking forward to it. Took one for the team and stayed home. I booked an extra night in a hotel room and drove up with my friend Janice Picker and her husband. They were lifesavers. And so it was a significantly different, now I'm going to play with my hair, different Maryland sheep and wool. But it turned out to be a really good time. So we got up there very late, and I have to say something. I made an acquisition at Fiberspace last week. Let me show it to you now. I just couldn't pass this up. Hazelnuts had a trunk show with limited edition big wheels in 4 or 5 bases, and each big wheel was 800 yards of that particular base. So I bought some. And this came out of my Maryland budget. Thank you, Fiberspace. I know you planned this. So, but it was a great plan for them. They got a lot of folks who are coming from out of town to go to Maryland to come to Fiberspace. So it's kind of a great time to do this. And of course, I wish them every success. I'm just saying. It's something I couldn't pass up. So here we go. This is Hazelnut's Artisan Sock in the quill colorway. The quill colorway. It's dark gray and midnight blue. Very well priced. One of my favorite yarns. My favorite yarns. Limited. You put limited edition and people are going to be all over that, including myself. So suggestible. So, quill is the colorway. Superwash merino nylon mix. Princess Leia. It's going to be a sweater. Yep, 1,600 yards. Okay, so back to Maryland. So Janice and I took off pretty early and from the hotel on Saturday morning, and we got there at about 8:15, and theoretically it opens at 9. You can walk into Maryland anytime, which is lovely. I really prefer it to the waiting in line at Rhinebeck to get in the gate. A little biased. But there's a farmer's market set up. You can buy plants. People go in early and buy them and take them to their car, or actually the plant people will hold your plants and you can pick them up at the end of the day. People were buying fleeces already. And so anyway, we went in, we set up our chairs. I got my husband's amazing chair that weekend. And let's see, then we hiked down to the main exhibition hall. and where Janice got in the Jenny the Potter line, and I was planning on ordering a mug. Jenny the Potter didn't take orders this year, and I was supposed to buy one for a friend. I was supposed to order one for a friend. Jenny, I don't know. So I'm bummed about that, but not too bummed because I had a great time anyway. And I had been on the fence about about whether or not I was going to buy a Bosworth Moosey spindle. I went down to Bosworth. There was a little line starting. And I just, Mr. Bosworth isn't getting any younger. And who else makes a spindle out of a shed moose antler? Look at that. It's like rock. Isn't it beautiful? And I picked this one because I liked how it spun, but also because, look, there's little rodent teeth marks. I guess I don't know if they get minerals, calcium or something out of gnawing on these, but if they are left in the wild, they will biodegrade, and all the little critters will feed off of them. I see some slubs here I want to work on. So it spins lovely. It spins a long time. It's got heft to it, and I have a hobbledehoy battling on there. Okay, hang on, don't want to break my thread. Got a very skinny single right there. And I'm not even drafting. Oop. This is already all drafted, actually. So I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. I love the thought of it. Getting a nice spin. And I'm glad. I'm glad I bought it. It was pricey. It was my big festival purchase this year. And I don't think I regret it. No buyer's remorse for my Moosey. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. And I figured if it had been on my mind a whole year, that was an indication that I should buy it. So my whiskey canister. Very peaty, this whiskey, let me tell you. Okay, so then I bought maple cream because I did not want to risk not getting maple cream. And that is in here somewhere. Here it is. I bought 2 pounds. This is only one jar. And I had it on vanilla ice cream last night with some blackberries. Food of the gods. Justamere Tree Farm. Word is out about this stuff. I mean, people know how amazing it is. It's just whipped maple syrup, and it's the texture of peanut butter. Although if you heat it up, it'll get runnier. So really good stuff. Let's see, what did I do next? I did go to I went to Reflections at Rocklands. I didn't want to risk her running out of Cormo. There was no Rambouillet like last year, but now I have a pound of Cormo. I bought a pound of her Rambouillet and now a pound of her Cormo. I had 5 ounces of her Cormo last year, and I knit the curl out of it. I loved knitting it. I loved knitting with it, and I dyed some of it. I gave some of it to Sarah, Fibertrack Sarah, that I had dyed. And yeah, so I have a sweater's quantity now. That's Reflections at Rocklands, Kate Bostek, her amazing prize-winning Cormos and Rambouillets. And she's a Pennsylvania shepherdess. Okay, then I went into the world and I picked up this for my friend Sarah. It's a vegetable medley bat. I'll be sending this off to Germany. I wasn't sure I would be able to get one for her. And I picked one up for my friend Danae too, which she already has. So what's next? Looking. This is the only yarn I bought. This is Gail's Art. Pretty tag. I saw an interview with her on Jinx Yarn podcast. No, the Dyer's Notebook podcast. Really liked her style. And I had been thinking about this yarn since Rhinebeck because it's sold out. And I picked this up on her Wonder Sock yarn, which is superwash BFL and nylon. And this is Graffiti and Asphalt. These will be socks. I don't know what, they would make awesome collywobbles, perhaps. We'll see. I came home with all these scraps. I couldn't give my scraps away. Put those over there. If you want scraps, let me know. I got to hang out quite a bit with Magnolia, and Julesy, the designer of the Monster Cowl. They were in the same hotel, and Megan gave me a bag she made. How adorably cute is that? Everything has birds on it for me lately. And it's super cute yellow polka dots inside. Oh, more scraps in here. Yeah, these are from May too. Like, ooh, talk about that later. These are also Barn Raising Quilt Square scraps that I don't want. I was able to give a few of those away. I love this bag. It was so sweet of her to think of me. So that's gonna have a project put in it. I'm gonna put it right here. Hobbledehoy. I got a Skywalker art bat. Her bats make me so happy when I spin them. It's merino, superwash merino, bamboo, tussa silk, eco spun. Maybe that's recycled. Pulled sari silk and sparkle. Adore it. Let's take a look, shall we? Because it's always a shockingly beautiful surprise when you open up one of her bats. Although I think this one is pretty uniform. So there's one side. There's the other. Now, is there another inside to open? No, it's all pretty much the same, but it's just, oh, it just shimmers. Just beautiful. I love stuff with sari silk in it, and I love sort of a white-based bat. Did get another bat. Hobbledehoy was humming, and Marigold Jen as well, which they share a booth, and that's her mom. This one is a Mother of Dragons art bat. Come on. Yes. What does this have in it? It has pulled sari silk threads, sparkle tencel, soy silk, bamboo, fin, which I love, merino, and Polworth. All right, this one I bet is going to be a surprise when we open it. There's one side, and there's the other. Oh, there's some mustard in here that I hadn't noticed before. So I may or may not put this stuff in there. These are the sari silk threads. They're quite long. And you notice that she seems to have put them on the top of the bat because they will snag your drum carder if you try to dig them into there. I think that if you sandwich them between wool, that could also work before you feed them into your drum carder, so that they're sort of encased and protected and don't get stuck in the carding cloth. Yes, there's more hobbledehoy. I got myself some Mythology batlings. I love her little batlings. Very pretty. And that's what was on my Moosey. I also got layer cake batlings. Very pretty. And I got a pack of these for Sarah too. Okay, so Fleece Barn. I wanted a Gotland fleece, which is a Swedish rare breed. At least it's very rare in this country. And they are beautiful gray long wool fleeces. And I met, do I have her card in here? Yes, I do. I met this shepherdess from this farm. Her name is Mercy Mello. She can't be older than 17. And she has a farm in Pennsylvania. She raises Scotland sheep. She was there seeing what had sold, which of her fleeces had sold, and she had 6 or 7 that had sold already, and they were all about $150. They were beautiful. They were out of my price range. There was another farm that had 6 or 7 Gotlands there too. And in the fleece sale, it's divided up by fine, medium, long. They color code them based on that, and then they have the breeds in separate areas. It's very handy. The other Gotlands smelled really bad. And not like sheep bad, like funky cheese bad. And I showed them to Mercy. I was like, what do you think about this? And she was like, oh, I know this farm. She said, I wonder if the fleeces got put into plastic while they were still wet, like the sheep had gotten rained on or something and not dried properly. And I said, do you think the smell will come out? And she's like, probably. And I didn't want to spend, those were $90 fleeces. I did not want to spend $90 on a probably can get the stink out. I was bummed, people. I was very bummed. So I looked around, I looked at the Shetlands. They were pricey too. They were beautiful. And my Shetland fleece from Ross Farms is not ready yet, and there's complication with it because the sheep has been rubbing herself under a fence and ruing, which is something that you can do to Shetlands, or they do it to themselves to get rid of excess fleece. So she has a big bald spot on her back. So we have to rethink that fleece. So I knew that I wasn't going to walk away with Shayla's fleece. And I looked at the other Shetlands, and they were very pricey. And so I wandered kind of dejected down the aisles. It's hard to be dejected in the fleece sale. Everyone's so happy and thrilled and oohing and awing over fleeces. So I found this guy. It has a star because it was raised in Maryland. It was coated. I just noticed that. It was a 6-pound fleece at $10 a pound. So I paid $60 for this. This is a Lincoln fleece from Jan Wright at Catoctin Vista Farm. It's a Lincoln long wool, which is a conservation breed as well. And here is what sold me. It's a beautiful fleece. I don't know if you can see that. Holy sheep, Batman. Look at that beautiful, beautiful color. A bit bigger than I would have liked, but it's not an 8-pound Romney like I helped my friend Megan buy. And now I have a raw fleece in the house again, and I'm happy. So the next up to process will be yogurt. And I saw someone buying Yogurt's 2015 clip. I got his 2014 clip for her. And that was just cute to see the continuity of, and that's from Cold Spring Farms, and they have really nice fleeces. A lot of Romney, Border Leicester, Corriedale Cross fleeces. So yogurt is the next one to be processed. I'm gonna dye yogurt. I'm gonna dye yogurt's fiber. I don't know at what stage I'll dye it, frankly. We'll see. And then after that, I'll work on my my Rambouillet Corriedale from Rhinebeck. And in the meantime, this summer, I'll be washing this guy who has no name. I'll just call him Lincoln. How does that work? Because he's a Lincoln. It's soft, it's beautiful and shiny, it has a variety of beautiful grays. So, as I said, I helped Megan buy a fleece, and we were thinking that she was going to get a Jacob because they're smaller, they're very approachable, and she liked the variety of colors. But she fell in love with a different fellow. So by the time we got there, a lot of the Jacobs had been picked over quite a bit. So she fell in love with a lad named Brutus. He was a ram. and he's a Romney. And I just pull apart. So Brutus has a nice variety of colors in his fleece, and it's a huge fleece. But we rationalized it, as she really did love it. And it was coated, which she wanted. She felt like for her first fleece, she wanted something coated. And what she's going to do is process about 1 pound of it herself and send the rest out, which I think is a great idea for your first fleece, especially one that big. So she gave me some locks to take home as my helper's fee to help her find a great fleece. And it's also so beautiful. So I had a fun time in the fleece barn, and I met a 90-year-old guy named Phil, and we took a selfie together. I think it was his first selfie ever, because when I pressed the button to turn the camera around, he just kind of jumped. Like, whoa, mind blown. And we have an awesome selfie together, which is on Instagram. So, podcaster meetup. I got to say hey to lots of people, lots and lots of people. I got to meet lots of people. I apparently missed a lot of people. I don't think I was that late to it, max 10 minutes late to the podcaster meetup. I gave away, as I said, all of my bling, my Knit Cubby stitch markers. And I don't think I bought anything the whole rest of the day, but I was given a lot of things. And I'm just going to go through the rest of my stuff, sort of out of order. I visited Ross Farm. I got Tunis, it reminds me a bit of Hog Island. I spun some of this with Beth Smith at History Unwound. It's a historical breed as it relates to the country. And I got some Leicester Longwool, Ross Farm, which is so soft and nice and strong and shiny. And this was the featured breed of the festival this year. And they had a whole building dedicated to Leicester Longwools. Now I got some Finger Lakes Woolen Mill Gray Hog Island. It's a critical breed, raised and processed in the USA from Finger Lakes, New York, Genoa, New York. And I heard about this from Sarah Pomegranate and Fibercheck Sarah, who I really wish had been there. I missed them. But I got that sort of in memory, because I know they both had some last year. What else do we have in here? Lots of scraps. I already showed these. I already showed these. More beautiful scraps. Ooh, some Kirby Werby. I've never tried that. Ooh, I got Carolina Fiber Girls pin with a stitch marker made by Anne. Lovely. What else do we have in here? More scraps. My big IKEA bag, which is my go-to festival bag. Okay, look at all these scraps. These are from different people, and I have pins in here and cards. Not a podcast. I don't know that one. I'll have to check it out. This is from a new dyer who was handing out samples. Color Me Happy. There's some candy in there too. Ooh, I know who these are from. Thank you. These are, was it CC Carey? Are these from CC Carey? Who made the wonderful Woolmiza sweater that I tried on. These are scraps of Woolmiza from her sweater. Some of them, anyway. I had such fun talking to people. Penhook and Needles magnet. And, oh my gosh. Oh, my girl Heather. Okay, darn it. I should have your name. The numbers after her name are her zip code because she lives in Lowell, Mass. And she has some pride. She represents Lowell, Mass. Anyway, she gave me this Desert Vista Dye Works, Dia de los Muertos. And this is Franciscan Gypsy Designs. This is her card. These are all her crocheted toys. I have some Claudia scraps, Claudia hand paint, some Koiku scraps, and I took a little bit of video at the podcaster meetup, but just like a pan around people's butts because I was sitting on the ground. So you probably won't see that. And I don't think there's going to be a typical video like there has been in the past years. Because my husband was only there for 2 hours on Sunday with the kids. So, yeah, I did take some video. I haven't looked at it yet. If the technology gods smile on me, then I will have an interview with the amazing Amy. I was thinking Sarah Pomegranate is the one who I learned about Ross Farms from. Amy, her husband Scott, and her son Drew, who run Ross Farms. I only had talked to Amy, but and it's a very conversational style sit down in her trailer. Kind of really cool to see the behind the scenes of a vendor at a show like this too. But I hope to get that edited in the next few weeks and up on the show, and perhaps I will put a rebroadcast of past Maryland Sheep and Wool videos. Because we do have 2 other ones, and I'm bummed that we didn't get one this year, but we did the best we could with the situation we were in. But my husband was very upset because he got a special chair that had the built-in cooler and bottle opener, and it had an umbrella, and it reclined, and footrest. It was wonderful. I got to use it. And he had a project to knit on. And he was so excited to go to Maryland and knit. So, we'll need to make it up to him. So, I don't think I have time. No, I don't have time to do an Ask Fibertown today. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped to make it such a fun time. To my old friends, to my new friends. I hope you had a great time too. It was lovely meeting you and talking with you, and I look forward to the next time. Okay, you all, I will see you next week. Take care.